Hey foodie friends! Today I'm going to make a Frito Mexican enchilada casserole. So I have a particular cast of characters that I kind of like to use, and I know there's probably 50 different ways to make this, but I have a YouTube friend that I'm going to meet for the first time tomorrow. Bing! And I promised him and his family that I'd make this. So here we go. The reason you're seeing a lot of stuff, kind of double of everything, is I'm making 2 pans worth. I'm going to give him a pan, and we're going to keep a pan. It actually freezes really well, like you could eat some of it and freeze some of it, freeze it in little pieces like you would do maybe lasagna, and reheat it later. So my cast of characters in no particular order is an onion, and in my case, ground chicken thighs that I grind at home, but you can just do ground beef or ground turkey, whatever. I just find that my husband and I really like the ground chicken. It's just so much lighter and tender. And then you can use like a Mexican blend, but I did a Colby Jack cheese here. McCormick fajita seasoning. So as far as the McCormick fajita seasoning, I would strongly suggest sticking with that because the store brand fajita seasoning, I didn't like it. I've tried Walmart, or well, I guess it's Great Value, and there was some other, I don't know, brand that was a store brand, but this is delicious. And each one's gonna get a bag of just regular old Frito corn chips. Now I kind of cheaped out because I should have gotten a picture of it, but the Fritos were over $4 for the same size bag, and these were just under $2. But sadly, about a year ago or less, these were 88 cents. Times they are a-changin'. And I opted for the salt-free Rotel. It's like diced tomatoes, green chilies mixed together. It's really, really good. So I like the salt-free because you're going to be adding your own seasonings to it. Same thing with the chicken stock. I like salt-free, and you can do chicken broth, but the stock is a little bit just richer, just a better flavor. And you might wonder why I need that, but it actually helps kind of wet the Fritos a little bit, like you would want an enchilada not dry. So here's an interesting thing. When I was at Walmart today, I needed to get another can of this enchilada sauce, and on hand I had the Old El Paso, and I was going to buy some more of that, but then I saw for the same exact size, same amount, exact amount, that this brand is cheaper, quite a bit cheaper. And I've tried different brands and store brands of pinto beans, and honestly, I think the Bush's pinto beans are so good, they're so tender, and they don't seem to be as salty either, but that's what I'm going to use. And then I'm going to add some chili powder. And I did see somebody way a long time ago, they used the chili flavored Fritos, and that's a neat idea too. They mix the regular Fritos with the chili, so you know, just make it your own. I'm going to throw in some garlic powder, onion powder, and a dash of my own cayenne pepper. And I didn't make it, but I don't remember what brand it is, but I put it in this little shaker bottle. Isn't that cute with the little handle on it? Look, it's so cute. And I'll just put it to taste. The neat thing is, so we're going to pre-cook the meat with the onion. You'll see that in a minute. And the nice thing is you can taste test it after it's all pre-cooked and you're kind of mixing things together. You can pre-taste test it so you know what it's going to taste like when you finish up. All right, so let's cook up the meat. We're going to cover it. And when that's all done, we'll put the rest together. So while I'm waiting on the burger and onion to cook, I got to thinking, yes, I saved a lot of money in this other brand, but when I opened them, they look different. This one that costs more actually smells a lot better. So I'm going to give a taste test to both, and don't worry, Gary from Ice Age TV, I'm just going to dip it, no double dipping, and give it a taste test as is. So this other brand that's a little cheaper, it's got a little bit of tomato in it. I want to show you, but I don't want to spill on everything. It's supposed to be kind of a light, thin consistency anyways. So let's give this a try. Actually, that's quite spicy. It's supposed to be mild. It says mild. Ooh, wow. I might not be using this. But I think I got enough even in the one can to do both pans. So we'll take my clean spoon, try this one. This one actually has a little less of a tomato consistency, but it's not like it's watery. All right, let's give it a try. This one's way better, way better. So it's okay to adjust as you cook, but take away what I said about saving money. In this case, I do not like this one, but you can always try it and see if you like it. If you like spicy, you definitely go for that one. Whew. This one says mild. It's just got a little spice to it, but excellent rich flavor. So I'm just gonna stick with this. Oh, wait. How'd that bag get open? I don't know what happened. You got a taste test, right? So the meat is cooked through. The onions are just soft enough. We don't want to be too mushy. And I'm gonna let this cool down a little bit so I can handle it, and we'll do the rest. All right, I'm ready to mix things up, put things together, and we're gonna do half and half for that other pan, but I'm just gonna show you the one pan. Put some of this, it's still hot, but it's okay. I just didn't want it ridiculously hot when I brought it over. Now I'm still gonna use chicken broth, but as you see, there's some chicken broth kind of built into this because this is my ground chicken. So I'll get the solid spoon and get some of that out, put it in here too. But you don't want the Fritos to be like dry. You want it to be like an enchilada, like a soft shell. We don't want to jip our friend off. We want it to be even Steven, half and half. Yeah, we'll be nice. We'll give him a little extra. He's got a whole family, and for me, it's just the husband and me. And he's got dogs. His dogs might like some of this too. We don't have any dogs right now. Someday we will have dogs again. And let's go in with about half of this Rotel, no salt added. And I think they even have like super spicy and all that too. I just try to go with the more mild. So I'm just gonna put half. There. It's about half. And no, I didn't eat all the Fritos, which by the way, I know these aren't Fritos, but this is generic Fritos. So I might be able to still call it that in the title. But these are just as delicious and half the price. Unlike the can of enchilada sauce, sometimes you get what you pay for, I guess. You just gotta try things and know how they are. I'm gonna sprinkle a good amount of this in here, pretty much the bag. Now I'm gonna use my good enchilada sauce. Get this big old ladle spoon of it in here. It smells good already. So I'm gonna put half in here. Well, maybe a little over half because I'm making him a little bit over half of the recipe. So we'll do that. All right, there's that. Take my pinto beans, sprinkle them on. Beans, beans, the musical fruit. Do you know how that goes? Beans, beans, they're good for your heart. You go ahead and finish it. Tell me in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna use 1 pack of the fajita seasoning, which has got good flavor. The sodium is nice and low though, 250 milligrams. So it's more flavor than salty. So that's why I say get everything else low salt or no salt. And then I'm just gonna add in some garlic powder. Don't do garlic salt because that'll make it salty. Garlic powder has no sodium. Gives it a good flavor. A little bit of chili powder. And if you look, very low, like 10 milligrams of sodium. It doesn't really count. Put a little chili powder in. Not too much because you've already got that fajita seasoning. And some onion powder. Even though it has onions in it, you gotta get that onion flavor. So all that I've added is like almost salt-free. Now the chicken stock, again, is to help soften things up a little bit. But when you open these, and this is something kind of recent, it's really strange. And they even put on their website, don't be alarmed. But if you can see in there, there's like, it looks like the aluminum foil is about to fall into the fluid. But they say that that's a way that it's supposed to, you know that it's fresh. I personally am not comfortable with that. I make sure that it's still sticking there and that nothing's fallen in. So we're not gonna do even half of this. We're just gonna do a little bit. That's about it. I have no measurements, you know me. It just How much you put in there? About that much. Now, if you don't want any spice at all, it's going to have a little spice anyway with what you're using. Don't do cayenne, but I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit in. Not too much, just so you just kind of notice it. And now what I'm going to do is mix it up. Now, you might have seen some people that they just layer it and throw it as is, but the problem is you'll have too much seasoning in one spot, not in another, or too much beans in one spot, not in another. So I'm going to mix it up, get everything nice and moist. I'm going to flatten it down. And you can use your hands too. I mean, it's going to bake, so nobody's going to die. I'm kind of hoping he lets the dogs try it. Those doggies are hilarious. You really need to check out his page. He talks about a lot of things, mainly cars and all kind of different things and motorcycles. But you know, there's a little bit of politics mixed in, but hey, it's good to know what's going on out there, whether you agree or don't agree or whatever. Just take a look at his page. So now we're going to sprinkle the cheese on, but doesn't that look pretty already? I mean, that just looks so pretty. I haven't made this in a long time, so it's time to finally do it and video it. So just, you know, clean hands. My hands are clean. Everybody calm down. I used to put way too much cheese on lasagna, for example. And one time, somebody tried it and they said, "Oh, this is really good pizza." And they meant it. They didn't mean anything bad by it because it was so cheesy and I don't know, it was like a big thick piece of pizza. So that's probably plenty because you don't want to overdo. Now, one thing you can do, because everything is already pre-cooked pretty much, is you can pre-taste test it and always sprinkle a little bit more on of something that you think it needs, because you can always add, but you can't take away. So I've got a clean spoon. See, I clean, all clean, and we're going to give this a try. I think it's going to be really good. I think it's just the right amount of fajita seasoning. This, especially because I taste tested it. I never taste tested it by itself. That is so good. I can taste that in it. Just the right amount of everything. Normally I do about 350 for 40 minutes in a regular oven. My regular oven works great, but I just love my toaster oven. If you recall, it does great, but it cooks really fast. So I cook it on a lower temperature. I'll probably do 340, and I'm gonna check it in like 20-25 minutes. So let's get cooking. And I'm gonna actually cook it uncovered because it'll get nice and bubbly and yummy. And if you can believe it, this half-size pan actually fits quite perfectly in my little toaster oven. It's a KitchenAid toaster oven. It's been the best little toaster oven I've ever gotten. Basically, the trick is when it's all nice and bubbly, that's when it can come out. You don't have to temperature test it because you've already pre-cooked the meat. So if you recall in my past videos, I'm kind of very careful about can openers, and see how messy it is after I've used it. Look at that. And how food and stuff can get stuck on these little sharp pieces here. So what I do is I rinse it all off and I take it a step further and I spray it with 91% rubbing alcohol and let it sit on there a few minutes. And then you'll know everything is clean and safe. And another thing, did you know that you can freeze cheese? That's what I kind of figured out during COVID when there was not much on the shelves. And then lately the shelves have been getting kind of bare again. So if you want to get some stuff and freeze it, the cheese freezes great. And yeah, it'll clump together, but you just take a mallet and kind of bash it around, loosen it up, and take a little as you need it. Okay, so I'm getting ready to take it out. The cheese looks like it's browning a little bit on the top, and it was bubbling pretty good till I opened the door. Let's try it and see how it is. Okay, and with a nice clean spoon, we're just going to take a little bit because we don't want to eat all of their food. We're just going to try a little bit. When Brian gets home, he can try a little bit, and then our pan will be cooked by then. Look at that. Come on now. Look at that. I got to set it down so I can try it. Now, what I often do, and Brian kind of likes when he used to make it in the past, is throw a little bit more of these Fritos, aka store brand corn chips, on top, and a dollop of sour cream. But just do what you want. Sometimes you can shred some lettuce, throw that on top of it, make it pretty. It's all kind of things you can do with it. Let's give it a try. Look at that ooey gooey. Mm-hmm.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Hanging out here in the garage at the Ice Age compound. And they're seeing all the goodies here, but they're really here for, more importantly, the Honda Trike, which I think that's really what drew them over here mostly. Not that they didn't want to come see me, but they're intrigued to see how the Trike feels, because they're Trike people.
Hey foodie friends, today I'm gonna make a Frito, let's see, enchilada, Mexican enchilada. Okay. And if you guys like these kind of videos, it would be a huge honor to have you subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.